Hello and welcome to Adobe Live here on Behance. My name is Aaron Nace of Flarn.com, and joining me today is the amazing product photographer, lifestyle photographer, Wini Lao. Wini, how you doing?
Hi, Aaron. Thank you so much for the kind intro. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing fantastic. And for those of you guys joining us, this is day 2 of product photography compositing. We had an absolute blast yesterday, learned some great tips and tricks on compositing a bunch of different photos together to create our final product, as well as did some retouching. Now, if you are joining us on YouTube or any other platform, if you want to check out our chat and interact with both me and Winnie, you'll want to be sure to head over to Behance. That's where you can see the chat bar on the right-hand side. And throughout this entire broadcast, we're going to be interacting with you. So if you have any questions or comments, or just want to give Winnie a great shout out for support, that is the place to do it. Let's go ahead and jump into the chat and see what everyone's saying. It's so fantastic to see everyone here. We've got already in the chat, Sam Peterson, how's it going? Robert is back for today. We've got Aaron, says Winnie is the greatest of all time. I couldn't agree more. We've got a great session for you today. And later in this broadcast, we're going to be going over our artist spotlight as well. This is where we feature an artist in the community. So if you have anyone you would like to submit to be featured, you can do that right here on Behance as well. On the right-hand side of the broadcast, you'll see the artist spotlight. So Winnie, how you doing?
I'm good. We're back for part 2 today. I'm really excited. More photo compositing, at least things that I would do in my world of product photography. So I'm really excited about that. Same thing as yesterday, start from like Lightroom to like bring it into Photoshop and kind of get a beautiful final image together.
I can't wait. This is so exciting. Yeah, we learned a lot yesterday, and it was so great to see your process of how you bring your workflow going from Lightroom into photography. So without any further ado, let's jump into it.
Yeah. All right.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So a little about me. I'm Winnie, as you mentioned, based in New York. I'm a product photographer. And if you need to just reach me later, if you have any questions, feel free to either contact me on Instagram or send me an email. I'm going to start today. We're going to start a completely different project. We're going to go over to Lightroom, where I can kind of show you guys this product that we're going to photograph. Well, I photographed a couple of days ago, and it's more of a motion kind of photography. So very high speed. I'm capturing a couple of different images, but I want to composite them all together to really get the most crisp image I can get. Because the reality is, like, as much as I love this image, I really would love to get the bottle a little bit more wet. So it looks like it's dripping with water. It's kind of like my vision. And I would also love to just clear out some of the parts that you can see here, because it is a gold foil. You can't really tell that based off of how it's reflecting. We want it to be more golden, so it looks a lot better. And so We'll start here just like we did yesterday. We're going to go into Lightroom first, work on color correction, just brighten up the image a little bit and just kind of adjust it so that it's a little bit more true to life. And then from there, we're going to bring all the files into Photoshop and do more detailed editing and get a photo composite from that. So with that, let's start editing here. So I'm going to the develop side. I always just kind of go from top to bottom on Lightroom.
Nice.
I'm going to up the exposure just to brighten up the image a little bit. but still keeping the tone of the red hue. Maybe adjust the contrast a little. I'm just going to bump up the highlights to see. I'm actually going to lower the highlights because you can tell it's kind of affecting the background a little bit. Then increasing my shadows a little, opening my whites and darkening the blacks a bit.
Yeah, it's already looking a lot better.
Yeah, somewhere there, like a happy medium. Upping the clarity a little bit to 10 just to kind of get a little sharper, and upping the vibrance to 20. It really kind of, it's kind of like saturation without the intensity of it. And same thing with the, I'm actually not going to mess with the tone curve today. And I'm just going to apply it all. I'm going to use Lightroom Sync in order to apply it to all the images that I want to work with today.
Nice. That's one of the best features of Lightroom.
It really is. It really is. Saves so much time instead of remembering what was the exposure and then going all through all of them. So let's just take a look at the images here. Yeah, this is the image I probably want to work with as my base and add all the elements together.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday, how you kind of like photograph knowing that you're going to do a composite. So like bringing everything in and kind of like planning on, working with your highlights and your shadows, and in this case, motion, knowing that from the photo shoot is going to help you when it comes to creating your final composite.
Yes, exactly. During the photo shoot, I'm kind of thinking about like, I'll have the image kind of pulled up on my laptop, take a look to say, okay, I see this, let's kind of adjust that as best as we can, and then go from there. And so that when I'm editing, I know that I have to adjust this in post-production.
Yes.
I'm going to use your trick today, opening it as layers in Photoshop.
Right on.
Yeah, always learning something new.
I know, it's the best, right? It's like every little trick make your workflow faster, more efficient.
Exactly. We're just going to wait for that to load.
Nice. And while it loads, we've got a question from Emma.
Yeah.
Emma asks, Winnie, what light do you use for product photography? Natural light or studio lights?
I use studio lights. I use strobe lights. I personally own Godox lights because they're really good entry professional lights, and I've just been using them for years. But I know Profoto is kind of like the big name one that everyone uses well. But I recommend to just start as simple as with your speed light if you've never worked with artificial light before. But of course, natural light is the best way and the freest way to start shooting with product photography. Just go right outside near a window and start shooting from there.
Definitely.
Yes, exactly. So this is the image that I wanted to work with as my base. So I'm going to pull that one all the way to the bottom.
Nice.
And I'm just going to turn off everything so I can kind of see one by one. Actually, I'm going to reverse everything. See.
There we go. Organizing layers and
yes,
getting a plan going.
Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of my base layer. First thing I may do is actually clean up this layer a little bit. A little different than how we did it before.
Yeah.
I noticed that I don't want to get it confused with other spots. So like this background right here, I know this is from residual water that kind of bounced off the product. So I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. All right.
Nice.
And then some dust in the sensor, cleaning that up a little as well. Once I see one, I see them all.
You got to get in and fix it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so this is a little cleanup, and then I'm just gonna open the next layer to see what that one is. Yeah, I do love. So I chose this image because I do love how the stream of water just kind of hits it right on top. So I think I'm gonna try to pull that portion into the image, the base image.
Oh, cool.
And the way that I shot this actually is on a tripod so that everything's kind of, so I know that nothing has moved while I'm shooting.
Yes.
And the beauty of it is because this is so fast motion, is that I'm just capturing little moments and I'm pulling it from each little part of each image. And what I'll do is have someone press the button as I'm kind of pouring the water over the product.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm going to invert the mask a little bit here. Oops. I'm going to go on the brush tool, up my opacity to 100. Oops. And I'm going to keep my hardness at 0.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what that kind of looks like. That looks great. Love that motion grab right there.
So nice. Yeah, it really gives the product a lot more like feeling and like life when it has like some motion to it.
Exactly. A lot of times with my work, I always think about, okay, how can I add some movement or at least some visual of the fact that it's movement, right? So like some commonality of that is, adjusting shutter speed so that things are moving. So there's like a blur, people love that as well. That creates some motion into your work, but still photography.
Yes.
Love that part. I think I got that. It looks like a wave. It looks really cool.
Yes, it's picking up some of the red from the top as well in the reflections in the water.
Exactly. What I might do later is fill this in a little bit, but we'll see how it looks all together. I'm going to look at the next image to kind of see what that kind of looks like a little bit. I'm going to zoom in to just kind of get some details. I think what I really like about this image is that there's some streams of water.
Mm-hmm.
So when working on product work, I don't want to block out any information for the client, and especially because most of the time they'll use the photos for advertising. So I wouldn't use like a stream of water that is here, but I'll get it from the sides.
That makes sense. Yeah, I don't want to block the product name itself.
Yeah, so I'll go in and we'll just kind of lightly adjust that a little bit. And you can tell that there's also that reflection from, I do love this big drip of water. So I'm kind of going to end it there.
Right, yeah.
Let me zoom in a bit so we can all see. Just kind of masking that in a little bit.
Cool. So you can kind of lead it right into that drip of water.
Exactly. And that's pure coincidental, but it works.
It works.
I might see what happens if I fill it in a little bit. Yeah, I kind of like that.
That's cool.
Maybe I'll clear this out like that. What do we think? Do we like that? I might get rid of it.
But that's the fun thing about Photoshop and this workflow is you can change mine at any time.
Exactly. As we're going, like, and then later on, maybe I do like it. I'll bring it back in.
Yeah. And if you send it off to your clients and they can give you notes and you can make changes with the files at any time as well.
Yeah. Let's see how long this stream is. I think it goes all the way. No, well, this one has the drop for us.
Cool.
So that kind of looks really cool. They look like chandeliers. That's really pretty.
Yes.
Let me see. I'm just going to invert the mask to see what other details I may want.
Good idea. Yeah, so you can see everything else that's on the layer.
Yeah. I do like how there are a little bit of bubbles forming, the little droplets that are forming right here. Maybe some detailing right here a little bit, maybe in between the letters. So we'll kind of go in there as well to grab.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, same thing as before, just going over with my to invert the mask a little bit, only highlighting the areas that I really want, which is between the text. Looks great.
Yeah, it looks so nice.
And it still looks really natural. A lot of my work leans more on like realism. So you want it to, there are layers of composited work to it, but still a lot of layers of the final image will have some element of realism.
Definitely. Yeah, like it could have been all shot in one frame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just see how that kind of looks a little bit. Oh, it's like that.
Yeah.
I'll keep that one in.
A lot of nice little detail work.
Yeah, just kind of adds to it a little bit. I love that. Let me see what happens in the bottle cap. So I inverted it again, just to kind of see what the image was before. Yeah, I think I might add some water droplets too to the bottle cap as well.
That looks nice. It's cool how you can just paint those in or out.
Exactly. And I think also, because I'm keeping composite in mind as I'm shooting, if there's, say, I want to move this water droplet over here, I can just use the healing brush and just kind of shift it over later.
Nice.
Just going over, so there you see what that looks good. Oh no, I don't want to lose that one. I love that. That looks good. It's great. So I'm looking at the next image itself. All right, this one's really fun because I do love that there's a lot of splash on the right side. So I think here, what I may do is add that to the other image and see if it looks realistic and kind of go from there.
Yeah.
I'm going to invert the layer while I'm inverting the mask, and then I go in and I like that. I don't want to lose that. So.
That's looking nice.
Looks so fun. I think it looks kind of realistic. Like it's coming from this side a little bit. One thing I do want to be careful with is that I don't block this that we captured from the other image. But I do want it close enough so that it looks like it's behind it. And that's one thing too in compositing is thinking about depth. Instead of thinking about it as 2D, how do we think of it as 3D?
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Nice.
I love that. That looks fun.
Barry is asking us in the chat, what aperture do you usually use when you photograph?
If it is product work, a lot of times I really try to stay between 13, 14, somewhere around there. And then if it's a lot of motions with people, maybe not as much. I think partially why is because we want a lot of the image to be in focus, especially because it may be used in print or may be used in a bigger scale, and the whole image really has to be in focus. And usually if I can't keep it that way because I don't have enough light, I will bring in more light to make up for that. Because it's all about shaping light. So that's kind of what I would do.
That makes sense. Yeah. You got to be able to read all the text and see all the details and everything.
Exactly. So here, I just want to make sure I grabbed everything. So what I do is I'm just going to see the mask, see what we have captured, what I covered, and I realize I'm missing a lot of area. Perfect.
There we go.
Awesome. I realize I'll adjust that there as well too. As I'm retouching, kind of go through it and make sure, see what I've edited in, what I've edited out. I see a little dot right there I don't want. Take it out. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to move on to the next image a little bit. This one, I believe I added just for extra dewdrops if I wanted any.
Mm-hmm.
And not that one. This one. Yeah. So let's invert the layer one more time. And then any areas which I want to add more dew, I'll just kind of highlight it over. I think the color's a little different here.
Yeah, it does look a little bit different.
Yeah. I think what I'll do is I'll find the bubbles that I want. Then I'll just kind of slowly shape the bubbles, the dewdrops that I want, just kind of shape it so that maybe they're a little brighter, but it doesn't affect the actual bottle color.
That makes sense. Yeah, just the droplet.
Yeah. So the way I'll kind of do it is invert it. I'll keep it. Any dewdrops that I want, I'll just mask it out this way. So when I invert it later, it'll be in our final image. I don't necessarily need all of them, but a couple will be nice. Get this one over here. Maybe this one. This one here. Here. I'll try this one. This one, I like this one. Here.
Nice. Good. A lot of little detail work.
A lot of detail work. That's what a lot of people are learning about product photography, is that there's a lot of detail work too. So I'm going to invert it and see where the bubbles are. If I don't really like it, I will just get rid of it. So I'm not a big fan of this one right here, but we can fix that in a little bit. So let's kind of get rid of this one because of the double dewdrops. Shape this one.
Fairy's asking us in the chat,
Hey.
when and how did you start your first client project?
I kind of bounced around a lot. I did a mix between my first product client. Well, I started photographing my influencer friends 6 years ago, when it was really popular on Instagram. And a lot of my clients, my influencer clients at that time, they would also need to photograph products. So that's really how I got it started, understanding photo briefs, understanding angles, what are people looking for? So that's really how I got started. And a lot of times it was just networking and meeting people in person and then going from there.
Nice.
So this is kind of like the image, kind of leaning towards right now, but I do want to get rid of this. So let me see what this image looks like. Yeah, you can tell this one doesn't have the drops, but I know this one has a funky color. So let's see this one. Don't really like that one either. This one's nice. So you can tell this is the area we're looking at right now. And I am just going to pull from this image right here.
Perfect.
And it's gone.
Nice.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah, I think that's why it's important for me most of the time to invert my masks so that it continues between layers and I can just add on as much as I want.
Totally. Yeah, it's such a good workflow. Just decide what you want.
Exactly. And then for this is more so that I have some darker spots that I want to be able to bring in. Just clean it up a bit. Closer. Bringing in the whole thing.
Yeah. Is that like a foil type of, like a reflective surface there?
Yes. So a lot of times, I think for this particular product, it was in celebration of Lunar New Year. And Lunar New Year has a lot of reds, has a lot of gold in it. And so they use gold foil, which is beautiful, but a pain to edit, a pain to shoot. I wish I could show you guys. I had a lot of like bounce boards. I have a lot of like, I basically created like this white nest around my camera.
Oh, wow.
Except for this part that we're editing right now.
Right, because it'll reflect all the light and the shadows and everything.
Exactly. So if we want it to be bright, we add, because it's a mirror basically. So it sees what's in front of it. And if it sees a whiteboard, then it would be bright. But if it sees my camera, which is what this is going on, then it's going to be dark.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's nice. You can just kind of composite it back in and there we go.
Yeah. And that's thinking ahead, right? A lot of times with composite work is me kind of like we talked about, it's just thinking ahead of time and how can I make my life easier? Exactly. There's still some work here that we could definitely fix as much as it's composite work. Still need to go in and clean up details just like we did yesterday.
Yeah. We've got a question from the chat. Do you ever print your work so you can see it like in person?
I haven't printed my work. I actually did just receive my first editorial piece on a magazine. Nice. So that's the first time I've ever seen my work printed.
It's so cool.
All right, this one we're gonna have an issue. As you can tell, the layer underneath still dark.
Right.
So we're going to bring that back. We're just gonna edit that in a bit. That's probably gonna do same issue here. Same issue here, same issue here. And that's okay. I think I also want to show some methodology to that, how we can clean that up a little bit. All right, so this is probably, we're getting there. I'm just going to do a before and after. This is kind of what the image was as our base image.
Nice.
Added a lot of water elements into it, and this is kind of what it's looking like now. Cool. Super fun. All
Looking right, good.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to group everything together here. I'm going to add a new layer. And this will just kind of be foil edit.
I'm curious to see how you're going to tackle that.
Yeah, I think here a couple ways. Always I can kind of pull from this side over here and just kind of go over it like this, and just making sure that I don't really touch anything beyond that.
That works really well. So that's the clone stamp tool?
The clone stamp tool, yes.
Nice.
That's great. That looks really good. Same thing for this. I'm going to pull from here. Actually, always pull from the neighboring sides just to remain consistent with color. And because this is more curved, I'm going to release, sample a different area. Release.
There we go. Nice detail work.
Love that. That looks really good. Something like this. Same thing over here. We'll do it really quickly.
Yeah, it's good to know. Even if you don't have like the perfect photo, you know, with a highlight instead of a shadow there, that you can just clone stamp it.
For sure. And sometimes I just zoom out to take a look really quickly if it looks good or not. And if it doesn't look good, then I'll go back in, because sometimes when you're in nitty gritty details like this,
yeah,
we want to be able to see the overall image. So I'm just going to do this really quick and then zoom out, and it looks really good. So actually sometimes the darkness can act as a, it creates like a 3D effect. So I keep that in too.
That makes sense.
Up here, you can kind of tell. Yeah. Same thing right here. Actually, you can tell that this is a little more yellow than this. So I'm going to use this side right here.
Nice.
Looks good.
Cool.
The eye doesn't bother me, but the one thing I do notice is that line right in the middle of the bottle.
Yes.
So we're just going to use healing brush here, really small. Oops. Get close, but not too close, and just voila.
That's so nice.
And it's gone.
That's gone.
That is going to bother me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so nice. You just
yeah,
brush that out. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, here's a little too close. I'll use clone stamp here. And the beauty of using clone stamp healing is that you're really sampling the pixels around it so that you're not necessarily drawing in a specific color. In a perfect world, if this was a client shoot, I would have gotten, I also would edit the back, which is the Japanese words right here.
Oh yeah, totally. It's very subtle, but you can see it.
Yeah, exactly. I think usually working with a prop stylist, they'll probably take out the label in the back. Same thing, clean here.
That's nice. You can just remove that line. It's so cool.
Yeah, I definitely saw it as I was shooting, and I was like, this could be edited out later too.
Yes. It's good to know like what you can edit out so you don't like worry about it during the photo shoot.
Yes, exactly. It's hard when usually when I'm shooting, I'm also the retoucher. In scenarios where I'm not, it's kind of hard to judge. So a lot of times they may overshoot just to make sure the retoucher has all the information that they can get.
That makes sense. Yeah. You can kind of like send them instructions and say what to use from what part of the images and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Curious to know today where everyone is tuning in from.
Yeah, where are you guys joining us from? Let us know in the chat. Stone just said, popped in from Dubuque, Iowa on the Mississippi River.
Nice. On the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
Were there anyone here from yesterday? I think Ferry was here yesterday.
Yeah, Ferry was here yesterday. Sam was here yesterday. Robert was here yesterday. Yeah, we got a lot of folks. Joanne Lee is saying, hi, Winnie.
Hi, Joanne. Joanne's my assistant.
Oh, nice.
She's awesome.
Thanks for the support. We got Emma Pay. Hello, Winnie and Aaron.
Hey.
Remy Yu. Hi, everyone.
Remmy's like my best friend.
Nice. Holly's joining us from Portland, Oregon. And
hi.
Clever's from Dallas, Texas.
Hey.
Nice. I spent some time in Dallas this past year. Oh, good times with family. Um,
Yeah.
Alan Chan is joining us from Astoria or Queens, New
Hey,
York.
Alan.
Yes. And Hugo is from Belgium.
Oh, wow. International.
Yes. Yeah,
What time is it there?
what time is it in Belgium? It's probably pretty late. It's probably about dinner time or bedtime, I imagine.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to do a quick before the foil edit, after the foil edit.
Nice.
Like that line is gone. It was so distracting. Makes a
Mhm.
big difference and a little bit of patience, but the results is worth it.
Definitely.
Really love how everything looks. I'm going to do like a bit of just kind of final touches here and there. Like for example, you can tell this is the whiteboard right here. So I'm just gonna clean that up really quickly. Just goodbye.
Bye.
Some of my favorite TikTok and videos to watch are people editing people out sometimes. It cracks me up watching it, even though I know how to do it, but it's so satisfying to watch someone else do it. And that's how I feel about the bubbles and like, bye.
Yes, just watch someone else retouch all day long.
All right. Love this look. I think it really is exactly how I was envisioning it, creating a lot of motion. Because when you're looking at it, you can almost feel like it's very hydrating. And there's a lot of movement to it too. So,
yeah. It looks like it's taking a shower.
Exactly. All right, I'm just going to do some color adjustments. So what I'm going to do is just bring out a little bit of the gold a little bit more, just so it looks. I'm going to use hue saturation. Actually, let me try not hue. Let me try the selective color option. And I'm going to go into yellow and maybe just bring out the yellow a little bit more. The background is adjusting, I know, but we can always mask it out a little bit later. Maybe somewhere like here. It feels good. I always do yeah, that looks good. Nice. All right, I'm going to invert that. And so that the background is not affected. Go in and just going to hover. Sometimes for easier control, I'll just kind of see what I'm working with. So see what my mask is. So on the keyboard, that's the backspace button.
Yeah, like
what is it called?
I think is it the slash key?
Slash key, yes.
Right above like return or enter?
Yes. Exactly where that is. Nice. Quick shortcut just so that kind of see what you're working with, making sure you don't miss out on a corner, and it just makes it so much easier. So it's like, see here, I didn't want to get the background, so I'm just going to go over one more time. I do remember yesterday's trick. It's click, shift, and then at the end.
Oh, look at that. Fast learner. Yeah, already putting it to action.
I was using it last night already when I was editing one of my clients' work. Like, I'm all about saving time, efficiency.
Yes.
So love that. It just brightens up the yellow a little bit. I do love the red. So same thing. Let's do selective colors and just bring out that red a little bit. Which one? Here we go. It's a little deeper here. I'm gonna go the other. Just kind of see which affects which one. I probably won't play with the magenta too much. No. Let's go. Same thing. I'm going to invert it and this one, there's not a lot of red in the background, so maybe we won't do that. I think it'll be fine. That looks great. Just kind of brightens it up a little bit here. So before and after what we started with.
Nice. Looking good. Big changes.
Yeah. And one last thing is just sharpening the image.
Cool.
Actually, I might brighten up the background just a little bit. And these are all aesthetic changes too. It depends on the person. Maybe you're more of a moodier photographer. Then you probably wouldn't brighten up the image like I would.
That makes sense. Yeah. Everyone's got their own style.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, and now the lighting's kind of even on both sides. All right, so I'm going to sharpen my image. So I have an action that I've been using, so sharpening image is really just high pass. So I can kind of do that manually as well. So I'm just going to gather all the images, all the layers together. It's Shift Command Option E. And what that does is just compress for that one image.
Nice.
Go into filter other, high pass, really sharpens it. I'll set it as 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then that will be a overlay. It really looks cartoony, so I am going to lower that by a lot. Start with 20, see where we're at. Maybe a little sharper, 40, see where we're at. That looks really good. You can tell the letters are just really crisp.
Yeah, it pops it out for sure.
Yeah, so I think I'm really happy with this. So I'm going to save.
Yeah, it's always a good idea.
So true, so true.
Yeah, it looks great. I really like the how the like yellow gold foil on the label kind of matches the background as well.
Yes, 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 yes. And that was an intentional color choice too, so the color matches.
Oh,
but
nice.
Let's say we don't like that color. Let's say we're like, maybe we want it to be a blue background, right? Yeah, let's just kind of play with that. Well, it's almost done saving. And then let's just kind of play with that for a little bit and see what happens if I want it to be like a blue background. You can still kind of change it. I do love the idea of doing a select, one second. Yeah, we'll do select subject.
Nice.
One second. Actually,
it works so well.
Yeah, let's undo that. I think I'm gonna do a layer where actually let's go to hue. Let's say if we're changing the background. There are many ways to do it. I feel like you can either go in hue, saturation, change the background, or you can go on the curves to change the background a little bit, the color. But let's do hue, saturation. And how we changed the background before was just adjusting the yellow tones in the background. So, you can change a different color. That red looks really nice, like a similar red, wherever it was. But you can tell that it still remains, the texture still there. So maybe it's that purple. Let's kind of lean for that purple a little bit.
Cool.
And then that's when I will kind of use the selection tool, select subject, so that I am not editing the product itself. Yeah, I'm just going to invert that.
Cool. Yeah.
This is kind of rough, because the issue we're going to run into is because the water's clear, we want it to be a little bit more of a purple hue, but I definitely like it as a yellow background.
I do too. Yeah, I think it looks really good.
Super fun before, after.
So cool.
Gonna save this one again. All right. Yeah, does anyone have any questions for me?
Yeah, let us know in the chat. If you guys are joining us on YouTube or any other platform, you can head over to Behance and join us in the chat. It's awesome to see you guys here. Everyone's enjoying the stream, Wini, loving it, absolutely loving it so far. And people are joining us from all over the world. Greetings from Bulgaria, says Emma. Fantastic. And yeah, we've got Hugo is from Belgium. Looks like Robert is in Sweden. So cool to have an international audience. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining. Where's the final image?
Nice. Yeah, Lightroom should pull it right back in.
Right here.
There
Here
we
it
go.
is. That's it. Although I did see a
Nice.
fun splash earlier. This is the problem with compositing and editing is later on I see another image. I'm like, oh, I want to add it on. The editing work never stops. Yeah.
Never
Okay.
stops.
Never does. Okay. Love this. If I were to post this on my portfolio, I would probably crop out the corners a little bit. And I'll probably make this more of a vertical shot right here, just like this. And that'll be on my website later.
It looks so good. Yeah.
Yeah, looks great. That looks good. Let's continue more photo compositing work. I'm gonna go to my fourth image that I photographed, so I can kind of do a fun composite work using stock images.
Cool. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, same here. So I'm really excited to photograph this. I was really excited to photograph this because they're an Asian-owned brand, and I really wanted to create this like hero look for this particular product, for this particular drink. And what I really mean by that is you can tell the way I shot it is from a little below. So you're looking up at the product. And I really wanted to seem like it's in the sky. And also that style of image is like very popular right now, you know, so it's kind of like on a pedestal looking up kind of vision.
Cool.
So what I'm going to do here is just like what we've done before in our previous work is start from Lightroom to Photoshop. Lightroom for global edits. Then we're going to go into Photoshop for the compositing and the detail work. So from there, I am going to go to Develop tab. And I didn't use a gray card because it's just me shooting. So I'm going to just sample the background and start from there a little bit. It still feels a little blue to me. It doesn't look true to the product. So I'm going to up that a little bit. That looks more true to me.
Looks good.
But we'll adjust it. So up the exposure. You can tell it's really coming to life now. Going to increase the highlights a little bit. And because I know I'm going to be compositing this with a sky background, what I want to make sure is that it's really bright, as if it was shot outside, as if it was really in like sunny day capturing this.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right. I'm just going to run to the restroom real quick. Just going to take a short break.
I will be editing here.
Nice.
Do we gotta do? All right, same thing. Gonna change clarity. I think the vibrance might have been too much. Let's see. 0. Change the clarity to 5. That looks good. I'm not gonna mess with the tone curve here. What I'm going to do next is just sync it to the other images that we're working with today. So this is the image that we're going to be working with as the base. And then sometimes I don't have another person to help me. So it's just me juggling between carrying the foam board. So I'm holding the foam board on the other side to really give it a bounce, to give it some gradient light on the right side. And then here I captured a separate image so that I can comp where's the sparkling right there. All right. We are going to bring this all into Photoshop now. All good, all good. Just gonna close this. All right. I'll wait for Aaron. I'm just gonna take a sip of my water. All right. Okay, then. So same thing as we kind of did before. I'm just going to find my base image, which is this. So I'll just reverse everything. This is my base image right here. I'm just going to add this layer in, getting the sides a little bit, just to make sure it's brightened up so it looks like that sunny day we were just talking about. Inverting the image. The opacity is not 200. There we go.
Nice. Looking so good.
Went away for 2 minutes and bam, new
Boom.
image.
Big changes.
All right, I'm gonna look at the second image here, which is for, this one really is just because sometimes when you use one light, you get a reflection. So just bring this in like that so that you can read the text. Readability is important, so just make sure it looks good.
Definitely. Sparkling functional beverage. What is a functional beverage?
Yeah, it has a lot of oh, I don't know the correct term, but it has all of these it's kind of similar to kombucha, but it's not. It's tea.
Oh, exactly. Cool. Oh, that's nice.
I haven't actually tried this yet. I bought it and I haven't tried it yet, but I think as a photographer, and if you're in the creatives, when you see a beautiful design, you just buy it.
Right. Yeah. Who cares if it's good? I'm buying it.
It's for the photos.
Looks like on the bottom it says it has reishi mushroom in it.
Yes.
Mushrooms are all the rage these days.
They really are. Mushroom is, and then now I feel like dates are like the new avocados. I think I saw it on Shark Tank one day and I was like, oh, it's the new thing.
You never know what's going to be trending next in the food industry.
It's true. Can't keep up. But I'm also very curious. All right, I'm just getting some of the letters in between just so it doesn't look very poppy.
Yeah, I think once people realize they can charge $10 for a functional beverage, we're going to start seeing a lot more of them.
For real. But yeah, love the shot. So this shot, I'm going to clean up the bottle a little bit here.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to add this all on a and I'm just going to edit that in. Just cleaning up a little bit of things here.
Yes.
Cool.
It is a beautiful label, huh?
It really is. Beautiful colors. I really like how it looks, obviously. Yeah, so super fun fact. I learned this from my prop stylist, but these water droplets are actually glycerin and water mixed together, so they stay there longer.
Nice. Yeah.
So unlike water droplets that just goes, you have more control here of lighting setup and waiting to get a good shot, remove a drop, add a drop in person.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is dust. I'm just going to call it dust. And what I'm going to do now is add a background.
Cool.
So we're going to pull that. All right. So I have two different variations. I have this one, which is a blue. And then I have this one that's like a sunset. Ooh. Which is like a little more on brand, I would say, if I was shooting this for the brand. We can try both because it's really a simple swap, but I do feel like the sky one is a little more trendy, it's a little more common right now. So I'm going to pop that into Photoshop. If my laptop will let me. Here we go. Okay, super fun. Just going to resize it.
Yeah.
And I press shift to just keep the ratio same. Oh, I guess it's the same ratio. Save that.
And you mentioned it's like trendy right now. Is there a place that you go to stay up and current on the trends?
On Instagram.
Nice.
But I think also partially it's I'm also a consumer, right? So as a person who may be going to Whole Foods and I'm looking at the different various ads that are up, you know, just keeping my work brain on all the time and just kind of looking at what's around us and like what is popular. Because a lot of times that's probably what we get hired to do.
That makes sense.
Unfortunately, and fortunately.
Gotta follow the trends.
Yeah. All right. So the next step for this is, since I want this as a background, and this is obviously blocking the product that we want to kind of highlight, what I'm going to do is create that one image of everything together. I'm just going to turn off everything else here. Nice. And what I'm going to do is use the selection tool. If I really want to do a detail edit, I can use the path tool and just go into each curve and highlight it. But we'll just kind of make this one a little quick. So I do want the block to be there. Oops.
Yeah. Quick selection tools, so nice.
So nice. And I love using select subject because it really just quickly grabs what I need and I'm just making micro adjustments.
Yeah, it works surprisingly well.
Yeah.
And these AI tools are just going to get better and better, you know?
Very true. Very true. But the one thing I wish is, speaking of just technology and AI tools, is that my phone would recognize me without my mask on. Make my life so much easier.
Definitely. I know. I wish they brought back the fingerprint scanners on iPhones.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You know, it's like they got rid of it just in time for everyone wearing masks.
It's so true. I forgot about that too.
Yeah, bring it back. Put it underneath the screen. I don't know. I mean, it's probably difficult to do, but you know, give us Face ID and fingerprint ID.
Yeah. My fiance has a Pixel and his fingerprint is behind the behind the phone, in the back of the phone.
Oh, that makes sense. They could do that.
Oops. You know, I'd rather over grab than under grab. So let's do this. And what I'm gonna do is Control J, which just takes out the selection. Now it's a transparent background. And I'm just going to load the stock image. And I pulled this from Adobe stock. So I just looked it up on Adobe and found it. And then I just added on the sky, and already the vibrancy, the colors, it just feels very heroic.
Yes. Oops. Yeah, it really does. And you photographed it from like the bottom, kind of like looking up at it.
Yeah. And those are the elements I'm thinking of. It's like, okay, I want it to be a hero shot. Okay, what can I do to make it really feel impactful? And so those are the little things that I think of. What I'm gonna do is just edit these out a little bit. Just like brush tool really quickly. That's gonna bother me if we don't do it. So kind of getting in there. What I'll do is kind of like do it this. Invert it and then just go over it like that. Perfect. Same thing here. All right. Nice. Yeah. So this is kind of like the feeling that I'm getting from that.
Yeah, looking so good.
On a board. So what the board looks really sloppy. My bad. What I actually might do is just cut the board. I'm gonna make it smaller. I'm gonna end it right there. So how to do that is just thinking about like what's happening here and just replicating right there. So it's just a straight line. Like that. And I'm just gonna use the mask tool and just get rid of that.
Nice.
Because the sky's right underneath, so I don't have to worry about it.
Right, yeah.
And voila, it looks like a smaller block. What I may actually do is I'm going to even it out. I'm going to keep it the same width over there. Maybe like right here. That's more of a artistic choice. Yeah.
Cool.
It's good. It feels good.
Yeah.
And it's really just kind of like, yes, exactly. And then here, what I might do is maybe change the color of the block and kind of play around and see, because I really love this orange right here. So we can kind of add that on a little bit. What I'll do is add another layer. And I'll add a color. So we'll sample one of these colors right here. I do like this bright, a little brighter, maybe this.
We've got some comments in the chat. Apparently the latest version of iOS is supposed to allow you to open your phone with your mask on.
Stop, that's wild.
I know, I need to update.
That's wild. I'm afraid to update.
I know, I'm always like 2 generations behind.
Same. I still have like iPhone 10. I'm way behind.
You're good.
All right. So what I did was I grabbed a color background. I inverted the mask a little bit, and I'm going to highlight this block, a quick selection right here, including the shadows. So the hardest part about changing the color of the block is just making sure that we still keep the shadows so it looks realistic.
Definitely.
There. All right, so then now I'm going to invert it, and I'm going to try to either add, multiply looks good.
Yeah, that works well.
Good. Light. That's a fun peachy color, but I think I use multiply because multiply keeps the shadow a little bit.
Yeah.
And voila, we changed the color of the block. And of course, there's like details in there to kind of go in if we need to edit anything. But it looks good. The block needs some cleaning up. But...
yeah, it looks really good. And that's nice with the, did you make a solid color fill layer, or is that just a regular layer?
I mean, I guess it could have been a solid fill layer, but I just kind of filled in the whole layer. Yeah. Solid fill. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have just done this area.
Totally. Sometimes what I'll do is either do a solid color fill layer, which is great, or you can click on that layer and then just go to Control or Command U for hue saturation, and then you can kind of adjust it after the fact.
Yeah. Especially if we want it to be maybe we want it to be green color instead, or we want it to be yellow color instead. We definitely do that as well. But yeah, That's kind of what I'm envisioning. There's obviously a lot of space, so we can always crop it in a little bit more. I also wanted to add a cloud, kind of like a faint cloud right in front of it.
Oh, cool.
So that doesn't look too Photoshop, if that makes sense. Because it's all about depth, right? So the idea is you want to add things in front, you want to add things behind.
Definitely. Yeah,
so what I might do is I'm going to make a copy of this, and I am going to just maybe use a portion, because I really like this cloud right here, like just this corner. Just do that. over.
Nice, good tip using the slash key again to see what's on your layer mask.
Yes, always. I'm gonna move this over. As you can tell, I still have the line up here. So I'm gonna form, I'm actually going to see if I can invert just this. I'm just gonna spin it around.
There we go, nice.
Shift it up a little bit because of that line right on top that you see right there. Just gonna hover over here like that. Like this a little bit. Going to let some parts out a little. What I'm gonna do is change the opacity a little. All right, I'm going to move this in front of everything. So we kind of tell it's in front, but it obviously doesn't look like a cloud. So maybe we can try different settings and see what kind of happens. Oh, I do like the screen. The screen feels very cloud.
Yes, definitely.
It's fun to kind of look at all the differences.
Right? Yeah.
And see what we can do.
Oh, what does this one do?
All right, screen is probably our best bet for at least what we're going for.
Yes.
So maybe I'll actually kind of leave it right. Aesthetic choices. Yeah, I'll leave it right here. My gut feeling earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll lower the capacity to like 50%. Did I press 500 by accident? Something like that. That looks really cool. I can still see some blue, so I'll edit that up a little bit.
Yeah. That'd be cool if you could do 500% opacity. I like that.
Super saturated.
Super.
So fun. And it's faint. I love that it's a little faint because we just wanted to lightly go lay it on top of the product. And maybe for mirror purpose, I'll add another one right on top. So I'll just kind of control J to make a copy. Scoot it up over there. I'm going to invert it back. Oops, I lost it. Here we go. And on top here.
Cool.
So it is blocking the logo, but that's fine. It's an aesthetic choice.
Exactly.
I want to make sure that I don't have that sharp line. So I'm going to up the opacity 100 and just kind of hover over a little bit like that.
Nice.
Yeah. It really makes a difference later on. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe I'll actually change this opacity 30%.
Here we go.
Okay, that looks really cool. Yeah, really, really cool. And a lot of times, maybe if there are moments when, let's say the background is a little more yellow and the product itself, the white balance is off, then we can adjust the white balance as well. But this looks really good to me just because of how I light it. So this is kind of what it was before.
Wow.
And this is what it's after. Before.
Nice.
And then after.
Yeah.
Always kind of crazy to see all the composites.
Yeah, it's so cool. And earlier you had some other clouds, right? Like kind of like a sunset.
Yes, I did. Yes. Let me bring that in because I think the beauty of it, where the background, you can interchange it, is you can swap it in and out. Super quick, super easy to see what it looks like. So I had these pink ones because I think the colors are a little more on brand. Same thing. I'm going to shift and just extend it. Right, maybe this one is not as. I'm going to add that right above the other cloud. That looks
Nice.
really epic.
So beautiful.
That was really cool. I think for this, I wouldn't do an orange block. I think I would
Mm-hmm.
probably keep it more as a gray or pink block. I mean, I can change that right now, actually.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So I'm going to maybe I'll kind of choose the green. See what happens when we do the green.
Cool.
Oh, that looks really cool.
It does look really cool.
That does look really cool. I didn't color the whole thing, but that's fine.
No worries. It matches
And
the
then,
can.
yeah. And then, or maybe if I wanted even just like that pink, just open it. If I wanted to grab a color from someone to use the color picker, if I want to use, maybe not. Maybe a brighter orange instead of the dark orange you're playing with earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that looks really good.
That's cool.
That's super fun. So yeah, change it to whatever feels right.
Yeah.
And the clouds are still there, and it makes such a big difference.
Definitely. Yeah, it's so cool. I love this style.
Yeah, it's a really I actually really like how the image came out. I think I'm gonna use this in my portfolio.
Yes.
That's always the best feeling, is that editing something and it looks really good. And yeah, really happy with that. So we have something that is a blue sky, or you can change into a more mystical look. You know, it really depends on the vibe you're going for here. These are just a couple that I found on Adobe stock. So those are ones I pulled for this.
Nice.
Yeah, love that. Same thing as we always do. I'm going to sharpen the image. I'm going to run my action, but we can always use high pass. Invert it. Looks really sharp. Looks really good. Super happy. That looks great. All right, I'm going to save that.
Yes.
What do you guys think about this one? This one's a little more quirky, a little more fun. Really love it.
Yeah, let us know in the chat. We've got Corey says, very cool. And Holly was interested in changing the color of the block, which you just did. So that's perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's looking really good. I love this style where it's like, uh-oh, too big.
It's the images are huge. That's why.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing because the details are there, but also sucks for the computer.
Making it think so hard. Do the work, computer.
Yeah. So do you guys like the blue sky more, or do we like the pink clouds more?
Yeah. Alan says, I love the moody, misty looking one, which I think is this one.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And Sam says, I like it. It's a cool contrast to the other designs.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think the beauty of it is, depending on your skill set, you know, I pull these images just from stock imagery, but let's say you have an image that you are creating from Illustrator, can always bring it in and stack it with real life images that you create too.
Definitely.
And you can do blend of world. So I think that itself is really cool too.
Definitely. Yeah, it's so cool with compositing. There's no limit to your creativity.
No limit at all. And then taking a step further, I feel like video work is really popular right now. And if you were to find a stock video of clouds moving,
cool
that would be really cool behind the droplet right now.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of see it just passing by a little bit. That would be really cool video. And all that is just photography and video combined together. And I believe you can do that on Photoshop or on Premiere.
Yeah. On Premiere, yeah, definitely. I was just at Starbucks the other day, and they had their menu was just like TV screens, you know, and all of their drinks and food was all animated, everything.
Whoa.
And they had like little water droplets were like slowly falling down the drinks in the menu, and they had steam coming up. And I was looking at it and I was like, how would I do that?
That's photographer's mind, right?
Exactly.
How do I do that?
How would I do that? Okay, I would photograph some water droplets on a black background and then use a screen blend mode. And yeah, I was like, I think I could do that. Cool.
And next thing you know, you do, because you're inspired and you want to do something similar. Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's gonna pop up. I usually have a hard time with larger files popping up back on my Lightroom.
Yeah, Lightroom doesn't have PSB support just yet.
Yeah, that's fine. But this is the image that I really love this. I'm gonna keep this. I might change the cube later, but that's fine. Right.
So cool.
Yeah, and a lot of these, yeah, here we go.
Oh,
that looks really cool.
Nice.
And what I'm gonna do is same thing as before. There's just a lot of space. This is great for, let's say I'm working with a client that's like, we need a lot of negative space so we can add text. So we can do all this fun stuff with it. This is great for that. For my purpose only, I really want to focus on the overall design of everything. So I would crop it right here. Perfect. Something like that. Really love that. And
so cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can pull a before and after.
Wow.
And that's wild.
Huge difference.
Yeah. And this is a simple one. This is really simple. So you can always add more stuff later to it too. All right. Okay. This one's really fun. Last one of the day. This one's going to take a little while. The beauty of this one is that I remember we were talking about yesterday with the chopsticks and just making it work. So this is just me in the studio. And because it's just me, I can't necessarily wire everything and shoot it and edit it. So we're going to composite all together. We'll do it together. If it looks great, it looks great. And if it doesn't, we tried. So individually, I photograph. We're going to use the same product, the droplet item, the beverage. And from there, we're going to add all of these as if it was exploding from the beverage itself,
cool.
As if it's like hanging. And the one thing is that, as you can tell, I may grab one lemon and I just change it different angles because we don't want it all facing the same direction. Back to what we talked about earlier, we want it to look like it's different layers depth-wise, some behind, some front, some, and I can kind of show you guys how I composite all that together. And I have ginger here. They're not the prettiest ginger, but they will work. They will work.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. All right. So first things first, we know the drill. I'm going to use Lightroom to color correct everything. I'm going to use my dropper in order to kind of color correct it a little bit. That looks better to me. I think that up the exposure a little bit because I think what I might do is have it still on the blue sky. So I'll still add the blue sky later on the background. So just going to increase my exposure a little bit, change my contrast, up my highlights a little. I bright crisp look. So lower my shadows a bit, up my white, black, there, and apply it to it all.
Nice.
I'm going to use a sync function on Lightroom, edit all of them. I'm going to look at the product just to make sure that that looks good. Yeah, that looks really good.
That looks really good. Yeah.
I hope it's in focus. Yes, it is. All right. And I'm going to pull all of these into Photoshop.
Nice.
Aaron, it's my new favorite trick.
It's a good trick, right?
Super helpful.
Open as layers in Photoshop. One click. That's fantastic. And just a heads up, we've got our artist spotlight coming up in about 10 minutes. Nice. Yep, Photoshop's thinking, doing the work. Thanks, Photoshop.
I'm gonna take a water break, coffee break, all the breaks while
All
it's
the
doing
breaks.
that.
Yes. Yeah, this is such a cool idea, like bringing some of the ingredients from the beverage itself into the final shoot.
Exactly, exactly. Um, and I think it makes sense, right? Because you want it to still be able to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's going to be floating in the sky, it might look a little funky, but it makes sense because it's still the ingredients.
Exactly.
And I think that's the beauty about compositing work, photography work, is that sometimes it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense.
Right. Yeah. And if it looks good, then, you know, that's all we
Exactly.
really need.
Yeah. So what I might do here for each one is first I'm going to find yeah, here it is. All right. So I will let that be our base,
Nice.
our canvas that we work with today. First things first is I am going to get rid of my arm. We're just gonna mask that out.
Nice.
Guess what I'll do is select subject, super quick button. It did get my arm, so we're just going to say, no, we don't need it.
Mm-hmm. Using the quick selection there.
Yes, quick select.
Nice.
And try to edit this quick because we don't have most time. So I'm sorry if it looks a little rough, but I want to get like at least the idea across.
Definitely.
All right, and then I'm going to invert, Control D to unselect, and then I'm going to invert it again.
Nice.
And it's floating.
Floating. Done.
All right, I'm going to move it now, right there. Perfect. Next item. All right, we're going to do the same thing for all of them. We're going to quick select subject, unselect my arm. We don't want my arm. Not today. Not a hand model, guys.
Not needed. Well, this is just such a great example that you don't need super complicated setup, you know, to do these shots. You can just put your hand in there and erase it later.
Yeah, exactly. All I do is make sure that whatever I'm holding it up with is easy to Photoshop out.
That makes sense. Yeah, so it's on the back side rather than being on the front side.
Exactly. Makes our life so much easier. There's 100%. A theme, guys. There's a theme. It's making
gotta get the job done. No sense in overcomplicating it.
Super cool. And same thing. Gonna grab a mask.
Nice.
I'm just gonna grab everything one by one.
That's a good way to do it. So easy to cut things out. It's just getting easier and easier now.
It really is. It really is. I don't know what's happening here. We can fix that later.
Yeah. Yeah. And just working with layer masks so you can change them at any time.
Yeah. Exactly. Life gives you lemons. This one I used a fork because it couldn't hold very well.
Heavy piece of ginger.
It was a very heavy piece of ginger.
Yeah, ginger's so funny looking.
It really is. It really is. I debated yesterday if I really wanted to cut the ginger or not for aesthetics reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a choice.
Yeah, definitely. I think it looks good though. You know, nice whole ginger. Yeah, the beauty of compositing is you can do both too if you want. You know.
Very true.
Nice. Just cutting the little background out there.
Yes, exactly. It's the It's the details
All in the
sometimes.
details.
All right.
There we go.
I could spend hours on this. I'm just gonna go through a little bit. Same thing here. Right now looks crazy, but bear with me, everyone.
Nice. You got this. We got about 5 minutes till our artist spotlight.
Very cool. All right. So everything's kind of movable right now.
Yeah.
Kind of like move things around a little bit. I'm going to have it next to, oh, it doesn't go. Here we go. That ginger's there. That lemon is there. That's, you know, here. This is here. My computer's going to explode. Looks good. And then also, I want to resize things. I don't necessarily, because when we look at depth, things that are further away are smaller. Things that are closer to us are bigger. So we want to also keep that in mind.
Definitely.
What I'm going to do is make this lemon smaller. That one in this background. Here. I don't want it next to this one because they're just facing the same angle. So I'll move it up there. And I'll bring this one. Right, this lemon down here. Nice. I'm going to make that lemon smaller when I get the chance to. That's a lemon. There we go, right there.
It's so fun.
So fun, super fun, because just conceptualizing.
Yeah.
Maybe this lemon's right here. Right, I'm gonna grab this lemon, make it super tiny as well. That. And then the gingers. So I thought I had more ginger. Maybe I forgot to add it. So I'm just gonna create a copy.
That's a good idea.
And I might actually just, in order for it to look like a different ginger, I'm gonna shave it off.
There we go.
Just gonna shave off some ginger.
When in doubt, shave it off.
I don't know if it'll look good. Let's see. But we shall see.
I wonder how the puppet warp would work with the ginger. I wonder if puppet warp would work with the ginger. Kind of like transform it to warp it around. That'd be so funny.
That would be actually. I think I should have cut this more as 30% so the edges are not as soft.
Yes, there we go.
Not my best ginger.
No worries, you're good. Looks great.
Yeah, looks great. That looks good. All right, I am going to make this ginger tiny. That this ginger is also huge. Make that smaller. And I'm gonna grab the ginger that we just duplicated. This one.
Nice.
I'll make that one smaller. And the reason why I'm not changing the angles is because of the lighting.
That makes
right
sense.
now they're all consistently in the same lighting.
Yes.
And that would make it look, yeah, it would look more realistic at the end. Okay, so I have this, and then what I'm gonna do is the lemons, all the items that seem smallest, I'm gonna blur them a little bit.
Cool.
Right, wait, I'm gonna actually add the sky, and then you'll see what I mean.
Nice. And then I think right after we do the sky, I think we're ready for our artist spotlight.
Sure.
Cool. I like the yellow contrast with the blue background. It's really good.
Yeah, super fun. Super fun. All right, let's do the artist spotlight.
Yes.
Is now a good time?
Now is a great time.
Hey.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna pull up Michelle's Instagram.
All right. And then for those of you who are just joining us here on Behance, you can actually submit an artist to be featured in the artist spotlight. So you'll see just to the right of the stream today, you'll see a chat icon, an info icon, and an artist spotlight there. So you can actually nominate an artist to be featured. And today we are featuring Michelle. This is Studio Mish on Instagram. And yeah, Wini, take it away.
Yeah, just because it's May, AAPI month, I really wanted to talk about, she's a fantastic Asian American photographer, and she does a lot of like fantasy color, beautiful work, and she works with a lot of Asian owned brands, and you can tell really fun colors and like details, and like just love her work for that reason, and definitely a lot of Asian inspired themes with that, like chopsticks here, you know, and her work is just so vibrant. And part of it is also the colors that she uses and the shadows that she uses. You know, there's lots of harsh shadows, so it's very but it doesn't distract away from the hero.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I love her use of color, and there's like so much going on in each of these images, but they don't feel like busy. It's like it all feels very intentional.
Yes, very cohesive in the sense like the porcelain colors, you know, the plates. That's something I see a lot. And I love how she uses like even more modern twists to it. So, you know, the curtains in the background, the coloring too. It's a blend between Western and Eastern. Not afraid to shy from adding a lot of details into her work. I really love that.
I'm getting hungry.
I know, it's lunchtime here. And it's probably lunchtime where you are too.
Yes.
Oh my God, this kitty, so cute.
Studio cat.
Yeah. And I love how even this is very minimal, but still on brand for her, you know.
Yeah, I'm wondering, how do you even do stuff like this? Like,
yeah, I wonder if you use a transparent paper. What are they called?
Like a gel or something like that?
Yeah, it's similar type of paper. I just cannot remember the name of it right now.
Nice.
Xylophone? No, but you know, when we add that into it, and then it looks like it's a harsh light kind of hitting it from the front with a bit of fill from the top. That's what it kind of looks like to me.
It's so
and
pretty.
Then I love this. I feel like she definitely, similar to what we're doing right now, added this in post as well.
Love that. With the gradient background. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you could just do that in Photoshop itself.
Yeah, this is so delicious. Oh,
hungry.
Definitely making me hungry. I know. I lived in Chicago for 10 years, and there's an amazing Asian bakery in Chinatown, and I used to ride my bike there with friends all the time, and I'm missing it desperately right now.
Well, if you're ever in New York, I'll bring you.
Deal.
Love this. And I love this Jeff, you know, talking about motion, right? Jeff is a great way to capture motion. Yes,
definitely. Yeah, I'm a sucker for some sesame balls and some bao and some dumplings and some dim sum. Oh, I miss it.
So good.
All right, I'm coming to visit tomorrow, Winnie. Booking a flight to New York.
You know where to find me.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, her work very cohesive in that sense. You know, you can definitely tell she found her voice in terms of getting a lot of good color and textures, and like really bringing in elements of style into her work.
Yeah, and we have Sam Peterson says cellophane. That might be the colored.
Yes.
I think. Yes. Yeah. I think you're right, Sam. Cellophane.
So lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, it really looks like she's nailed her style, and you know, like knows Knows what she's going for. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. And we can keep scrolling back as well. I'm going to go back the other way too. Yeah, and you can definitely tell she knows her audience, she knows her brand, that they want to highlight very specific features of Asian American heritage.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and that's such a nice thing about creating a unique style like this is that, you know, when clients are looking for this type of images, they'll know who to go for, you know, like I feel like as artists, it's always playing the balance between wanting to do everything and then wanting to keep things like very like with a specific style.
Exactly. And I think it takes some time through own personal work to figure that out.
Yes.
Because for myself, I didn't know what kind of product photographer I really wanted to be. And during the pandemic, mentioned yesterday, was when I really sat down and like had time to really think about testing lighting, bringing in different elements, what I loved, what people were telling me. And like, I was like, I don't like that, but figuring out what I don't like and what I love about it.
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like figuring out what you don't like is just as important as what you do.
Love just the fruit elements to it.
What is that fruit? Dragon fruit? Are you a fan? Have you ever had dragon fruit?
I've had it in drinks.
Okay.
So I have seen this, but I just don't remember. I believe it's dragon fruit.
Yeah, I think it might be.
I've never cut it.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
But I've seen it. Very Southeast Asian.
Yes. So beautiful.
Oh, curry. Love curry.
Yeah, I like the nice clean backgrounds. And like you said, the well-defined shadows, I think is a really nice touch.
Not overpowering, but in the sense that it adds some character to it. And it's also something I love too in my work, adding shadows and depth into my work, instead of it just having like the light just hitting the product itself.
Yes, definitely.
How fun is this?
Oh, it's a beauty.
We're adding paper into, you know, her work, as well as monochromatic look to it.
Yeah, fantastic. So be sure to give Studio Mish a follow here on Instagram. Send her a message. Let her know you saw today's Behance stream.
Yes. I haven't got a chance to meet her in person, but maybe. All right,
Soon.
yeah. So let's go back into our edits that we were working on.
Fantastic.
So we kind of left off here.
Yes.
It's kind of very, very different going from like a lot of colors to not a lot of colors.
Definitely, yes.
But I do love how vibrant this is. And what we're going to do next is blending everything in so it looks like it's that realism that I talked about earlier.
Yes, exactly.
As well as so love the blue. So what I'm going to do is start blurring things in the back. So meaning that, you know, if it's further away, it's harder to see. So it's not going to be as sharp as it is here. So what I'm going to do here is go here, click on the layer that I'm working with. I'm going to go into filter. I'm going to go into Gaussian blur, and it's not that blurry. Let's try 2. No, let's try 5. Maybe 10. That feels good to me. Let's just kind of see. You can always scale back by doing opacity. We can change it to, I lied. No, do not use opacity. We can always just undo and scale it back, but I kind of like that for now. That looks good to me.
Yeah, it looks really good.
We're going to do the same here with this ginger. I'm actually going to make this ginger a lot smaller so it looks further away.
Yeah.
And same thing, going to go into filter, blur, Gaussian blur. We'll keep it at maybe 6 this time. That means it's a little bit closer than that lemon.
Yeah.
Do that. Second. I can tell that there's this transparent line up there, so it's not fully lined up. Here we go. Yeah. Then same thing, this lemon, slightly closer, but not too much closer. So we'll kind of give it a 4. Yeah, even items that are closest to us, just a slight blur, just because sometimes when it's too close, it's on like in a peripheral, so we can't really see it. So I'll give this one like a 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one you can tell, same plane. This one, I'm gonna make it smaller in proportion to the size of the drink. And that one, I will add it so that it is a maybe 4. See how it looks.
Nice. Getting that depth in there.
Exactly. Yeah, and kind of see how it's playing out a little bit.
Definitely.
This Gaussian blur again. We'll do 2, just give it a slight zhuzh. And same, this lemon is huge. I am going to, same thing, Gaussian blur. I'll give it a 3, and I'll just make it a tiny bit smaller.
Yeah.
There, a little bit. That's good. Yeah, that looks really good. So it kind of looks like someone just threw up a bag of groceries.
Yes.
And they all just magically look really nice.
And combined together to make a delicious drink.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of here. Yeah. And then I feel like this one's too blurry, but that's fine. I can make this one really tiny.
There we go. Good idea.
And just like, it's like really, really far away. Really far away. Yeah. And that's how you really add some depth perception into it. So it feels more real. So it'll say it's kind of show the before and after. Oh, it's quite hard to show before and after. But you guys saw from the beginning where we were.
Yeah, definitely. Everything just photographed in a studio and you cut everything out, and on a sky looks so good.
Yeah, and like here where I cut it a little bit more, you can kind of see that a little bit. I am going to clean the bottle a little bit so that it is. And this is, and then afterwards, when I kind of got all my placements, is where I will start cleaning things. I could have done in the beginning as well too.
Yeah.
If we wanted to. But yeah, so let's say you can't necessarily get like a background, or you're shooting by yourself. The best part is that you can always just do a composite work at the end and put it all together.
Exactly. And you can have fun with it and experiment with your own backgrounds.
Exactly. Yeah. And here we can even try the pink background one more time.
Cool.
As we're kind of reaching our last like 15 minutes or so, I kind of want to know, how's everyone feeling?
Yeah, how are we doing in the chat? Let us know.
Yeah, so different feeling completely.
Definitely, yeah.
Still feels very mystical feeling to it. And then this one feels a little like, yeah, it feels a little more, I think, realistic to me. This one feels very dreamy.
Yes. Yeah, definitely has a very different feel. And I like the blue with the yellow too. It's a really nice color
good
combination.
Contrast, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Same thing as well. That, and then just go in and clean some line parts a little bit. It's this one. Half the battle is guessing which one. Yeah, and back to how I guess I would label it after I'm done.
Yeah.
Figure out where I want it to go. Same thing with all the ginger needs a lot of work too.
Yeah.
But I do love how the other ginger looks. Can't even tell that I pulled it from another ginger.
Exactly. Yeah, it's nice to go and clean them up a little bit, get rid of all the little spots and things like that in the ginger.
Yeah, and I would have changed, and like that's what I did with the lemon too, is that I changed the angle of the lemon so it looks like it's a different lemon.
Yes.
So sometimes let's say you don't have a lot of equipment. You don't have a lot of, you can only find that one beautiful lemon at the grocery store. You can always reuse it.
Exactly. Photograph it from a different angle and it looks good to go.
Yeah.
Emma says the ginger looks like a teddy bear. It's so fun. And Emily loves the blue and the yellow together. Good color combo.
Emily. Same. I'm just going to shave off the lemons. So
yeah, there we go. Yeah, good call.
Oh, something like that. It's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing as I mentioned before, if the coloring doesn't match, I will go in and change the colors. But I feel like this is the way that I shot it with just like a stroke hitting, just like one stroke hitting each item. So it feels like it's the sun hitting each item.
Yes.
So it has that like shadow on the bottom. So it looks like the sun is coming from, well, this angle.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, the consistency with the lighting is really key.
Yes. All right, let's see. All right, I'm going to just up the saturation a little bit for everything, just to kind of give it a bit of a pop, especially a bit of the yellow a little bit.
Yeah, looks really good.
Looks good. One thing I may do is just brighten up some areas a little bit.
Remy says, I've learned so much. I'm amazed at the before and afters.
Same.
Yes.
It's compositing work is interesting because I have a certain vision for it, but sometimes it may not necessarily work out the way I want it to be.
Yeah.
But I think that's the beauty of it too, is that you can always play around.
Yes. Yeah, I feel the same with compositing, is you don't really know what it's going to look like until you start doing it. And, you know, sometimes it works out great. Other times you need to kind of go back and try again.
Yeah. Like that lemon. Perfect. And I'll just darken some areas to really give it like a shadow bit. Crevices.
Yes.
I think the reason why this composite really works because it's a sky, I don't have to think about how to create shadows. So let's say if this was like a grass, if I were to lay this all in a grass, it would look kind of funky.
Definitely.
Without adding shadow and highlights to it.
Definitely. It'd be much harder. I agree.
Yeah, but all this depth work is important. It adds to it a little bit.
Cool. It's so cool to see all these layers come together with this composition.
Yeah, it really adds some depth.
Yeah, that looks great.
I didn't do it on the can.
Nice highlight following the direction of the surface as well.
Exactly. And I can probably pull the contrast button. I can add the contrast here too. But I want it to be more intentional where I put the dodging birds.
Yes.
Good. That's great. And then one last thing from yesterday that I mentioned is always just cleaning up the logo a little bit. I didn't do that earlier, but I did that yesterday, where I kind of want to go into the blacks. Well, that one's green, but I'll go to blacks. And then you want to darken certain.
That makes a big difference.
Really makes a big difference. And just, well, if this lettering was black, it might be easier to see. And it just darkens the letters a little bit.
Definitely.
Green. Yeah, just darkens the letters a little bit. All right.
That's nice.
And last thing, see on that, always add sharpen image.
Yes. That's nice. Make it all cohesive too.
Exactly. All right. Okay. I love this look. I'm going to save it.
Nice.
I wonder if this is also a large document.
Yeah, it might be.
With so many images. Yeah.
Right? It's so cool. We've got so much done today.
Yeah,
Nice job,
exactly.
Winnie. Yeah.
Which one's everyone's favorite for today?
Yeah,
if
let
you
us know.
tuned in all day.
Yeah. Do you like this with the sky, or we had the other sky one, or if you remember when we started, we had the red bottle with the splashes.
Yes.
What's your favorite one from today, Winnie?
I really like, not this one, but the other composite with the sky, but with the pink sky.
With the pink sky.
And I would probably change the block into maybe like a lighter pink. So it feels more cohesive with the sky.
Yeah.
And I would probably use that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I really like that one. That one's really fun.
It's fantastic. I like that one a lot too. It came out really nice. And it's, you still have the layered file, so you can change any details at any time.
Exactly. Let's say it's later on and you want it to be more festive, holiday festive. You can always add elements to that as well. More floating skies photos.
Sam says, I really like this one. The colors and the clarity are really cool. Looks very refreshing. And Emily says, always a fan of water / splash photos. So fun to shoot and edit.
Yes. Same.
Nice.
Waiting for that to load so that I can
go
to Lightroom and show everyone the photos talking about. I mean, out of the 2 days, I really love the first image that we were together on. That's really aligned with like my own style.
Yeah. With the like crystal balls.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Yes, those were great.
Yeah. Maybe after this loads, we can go back into Lightroom and see if those are available to see.
Yes. I'm going to pull it up. I wonder if I can just go. Okay, I can.
Nice. And we've got about 4 minutes left on today's broadcast.
Okay. All right. Well, this is just to kind of review what we kind of talked about today. This is the final image that we first edited, and these are all of the composites that we use to get that image. Really fun composite. Just thinking about movement, just thinking about what elements you want to use in order to create that motion photo.
Definitely.
And the second image that we kind of worked on today is well, this is our final image, just creating that mystical look to it. And then, there we go. Reviewing, thinking about depth, thinking about adding clouds in front, clouds in the back, just makes it looks a little more realism. Obviously it's not real.
Right. Yeah.
And this is what we started with, completely blank
wall. Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah, and that's a dirty foam board. It's a dirty wall. We're going to use it anyways. And then the last one is, we just did this, which is the sky image, exploding ingredients. And we started with random things just on a chopstick and a fork.
So cool.
That's all it is. And I would crop this as a square. We don't
Yeah.
really need everything. I would actually crop it so that the ingredients are cropped in, and I would send it like this to my
Oh, that's a
client.
cool idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
sometimes
like that.
cropping in is really cool because you can really see all the details. Because we want to think about what the hero is and it's the
Right.
product itself. So that's kind of how I would do it, just like that.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, I just realized the can. I cut too much of it, but it's fine. Can edit that later. And it really looks
Exactly.
like this is in the background, like it's really far away. So yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. Can we see some of the shots from yesterday also?
Oh
Are they
yes,
still
yes, yes,
loaded up in
yes.
your Lightroom?
Yes, they are. So this is
Beautiful.
I actually went in this morning and edited more.
Okay, nice.
But
Clean it
this
up
was
a little bit.
the before. This is all the composites that we use in order to build it up to this and just edit it
Beautiful.
through a mix between composite and photo editing. Then the second image is, I believe, where is it? Oh, here it is. The final
It's so
image we
pretty.
kind of end up with. There's still a little bit of things I would clean up, but these are the composites that we were working with.
Nice. Oh, it came together so well. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Like this is, I feel like, more realism. And then these are just more motion and more experimental, I would say. This was
Yeah.
super fun.
We got a
Yeah.
taste of everything. Winnie, thank you so much for both days. And thank you so much for everyone who's joined us and active in the chat. This was an absolute blast.
So
Be sure to,
fun.
yeah, so fun, so fun. I learned so much about product photography and I kind of want to go give it a try. So much fun. Not that I'll be able to do this, but give it a try. For those of you guys watching, be sure to stick around for the Illustrator Creative Challenge with Cloudy from Print My Soul. This is going to be immediately following today. And then following Illustrator Creative Challenge is going to be packaging design with Danny Vo. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.